Thanks. Good morning. I'm Sally Anderson Day and I'm from New South Wales Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water, affectionately known as DCHU or DECWA. I'm actually a manager in the Regional Water Strategies branch, and I'm leading the development of both the New South Wales Murray and the Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategies. And joined with me today is Aaron Matsinos, and he is a Senior Water Strategy Officer and very much involved in the Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategies. So today we're going to just give an update on the Regional Water or the Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategy program, and we'll speak very specifically to those priorities that are in the Upper Murrumbidgee area, which is obviously of important note to this group. So firstly, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands and the waters upon which we're meeting today, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So essentially, I'll give an overview of the program, the Regional Water Strategies program, and Aaron will talk a little bit more detail around the way that we're responding to those challenges, in particular in the Upper Murrumbidgee region. So the program is part of the Regional Water Strategy program is part of an extensive suite of strategic water management documents across New South Wales that are basically aiming at addressing critical challenges regarding water management and identifying long-term priorities and actions. So noting that this is a long-term strategic water management framework. And I'll just speak to that a little bit more with this next slide. So this diagram shows this framework that I just mentioned, and it is part of an integrated framework. These are relatively new for New South Wales Government over the last 4 years or so, where we've actually developed a complete comprehensive set of water strategies to guide that long-term direction for water management into the future. So you can see that it's an integrated connection between both statewide level strategies and regional level or catchment-based strategies. And heading at the top there is the New South Wales Water Strategy. It's been in place for around about 3 years now. And it sets that statewide context for water management across New South Wales, providing those overarching priorities across the state. And then it's supported by and informs both regional water strategies at our catchment level. So we have 13 regional water strategy catchments across New South Wales. The Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategy is one of those catchment areas. And currently in place, we actually have 9 regional water strategies that are in implementation phase at the moment. The final 4 are the New South Wales Murray, the Murrumbidgee, the Lachlan, which along with the Murray and the Murrumbidgee strategies are very close in the final drafting stage. And then we also have a Fish River Y1D Regional Water Strategy, which is in that investigation stage. But supporting that regional framework for catchment strategies is also a New South Wales groundwater strategy, which looks at sustainable groundwater management across the state. And what is currently being developed is a New South Wales Aboriginal water strategy being co-developed with Aboriginal people. And again, that's sort of in its final drafting stage as well. So collectively, these strategies provide an agenda for water management across New South Wales, and importantly for that regional water strategy level, so that Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategy level, the framework ensures that regional-based and place-based issues are included within that wider context for the government's agenda for water management. And importantly, in our regional water strategies, they are based or backed by some significant climate change modelling work, which has informed the development of the strategies. And it works across all of the other strategic planning documents within New South Wales and broadly that affect the particular catchment. And we work very closely with our delivery partners. So the regional water strategy provides that strategic context for planning for local water utilities, and they are considered to be a very important delivery partner within this mix. So we'll now speak more specifically about the Murrumbidgee, and I'll hand over to Aaron.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk today. So I will take us through a few slides on the development of the Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategy. So I will remember to do my slides. First of all, I'll cover off on the approach to developing the strategy, as well as some of the key challenges and some of the actions that are relevant to the Upper Murrumbidgee. So there's been quite a process here to develop the strategy. First of all, we started off with a consultation paper and a long list of options, which was released in April 2022. And that was essentially a culmination of a range of initial climate analysis work that we did, but also a lot of desktop research into existing plans, programs, and reports, and especially off the back of the development of water resource plans. And there was also some limited engagement with some key stakeholders like local governments to inform the initial set of challenges and a long list of options. We then took that work to the broader public and stakeholders in April to May 2022, and we consulted widely across the entire Murrumbidgee region. And then following on from that, we finalised our work on the new climate analysis and how that informed our hydrological modelling. So there, as Sally mentioned, we looked at sort of a range of potential future climate scenarios, so including, I guess, the data that we have on our historical record, and then we also looked further back in time to get a better appreciation of long-term climate variability by looking at paleoclimate data sources. And then we also factored in the New South Wales and ACT government's NARCLIM program projections for what a dry future might look like for water resources. So that work, combined with the learnings from the first public exhibition, was presented in a revised set of more climate-informed and stakeholder-informed challenges released in December 2022. Now, we may all remember at that time there was significant flooding across the regions, so we decided not to go and consult with stakeholders at that time, and we didn't get our next opportunity until the following year. And then we held some, I guess it was probably more of a limited engagement, targeted sessions with certain stakeholder groups, as well as public webinars. At that time, we were also working quite heavily on our options analysis, so essentially shortlisting that long list of actions, and we were bringing in the information that we'd taken from stakeholders about revised challenges to really sharpen what our actions might look like. So in May 2024, just recently, we released our third consultation paper, which presented, I guess, the revised challenges, but also our first draft of what the actions to address those challenges might look like, as well as a whole range of quantitative and qualitative details on the assessment of our options. We consulted quite heavily across the Murrumbidgee region from May to July, and we are currently going through all that information, and we're making updates to those final set of actions and the development of an implementation plan to take us into the future. And we expect in 2025 we'll be releasing that. And I guess I just wanted to just pause there and just sort of reflect on there was quite a lot of stakeholder engagement, and it's really value added to the development of the strategies. In particular, for the Upper Murrumbidgee, we have an entire priority now with a whole set of actions, which is all targeted around, I guess, environmental health and growth issues. And that's really a credit to groups such as Upper Murrumbidgee Catchment Network today. Introducing that priority 4. So this is the next bit I'm going to talk about is, I guess, the priority. But first, I just wanted to just touch on, I guess, some of the challenges which informed the development of this priority, as well as, I guess, some other actions which are also relevant to the Upper Murrumbidgee, but they come from more broader regional actions. So as we all know, the Upper Murrumbidgee is an area with a lot of, there's the ACT, there's New South Wales Government, there's Snowy Hydro, there's a whole range of, I guess, complex water management arrangements, and they need to be recognised in the work program going forward. There's town water supply issues with growth of New South Wales towns in the upper region, and there's also water quality issues linked to both land management and flow-based issues. And down the bottom, we have improving the health and resilience of ecosystems as a broad challenge, and within that, and I'm heavily summarising everything, but that's essentially about the altered nature of the flows, and as a result, the at-risk ecological communities, and in particular, our native fish. And across on the right there, there's a focus to, I guess, address barriers to Aboriginal people's water rights, and in particular, improving the knowledge about the cultural importance of water to Aboriginal people within the water management framework, as well as improving the opportunities to provide access to water through the water management licensing framework for Aboriginal people, as well as I guess, supporting career and business pathways. There we go. So first of all here, I just wanted to there's a lot of information here, but this is essentially a grab from our priority 4, as well as some other actions which stood as we went to consultation in the middle of this year. And and as I mentioned, we're working on changes to that. But that's, I guess, what I can talk about, because we haven't finished our work on the actions, and that will be coming out in the near future. I'd also like to say that this is New South Wales Government's view of the work that needs to be done. There's a range of views on the work that needs to be done, and there's already developments happening in the space with the federal DQ's investment in the Upper Murrumbidgee strategy, and there's going to be a range of implementation pathways which they're evolving, as Ryan was talking about. However, nonetheless, with that, I just wanted to touch on, I guess, probably more the outcomes that we're trying to achieve. And so, first of all, there's some broader actions from that apply right across the region, not just to the Upper Murrumbidgee, and they are some of those ones about improving engagement in water management for Aboriginal people, and in particular, we've recently established the regional Aboriginal water committees, and there's one for the Murrumbidgee region as a whole, and that's to really provide more, I guess, involvement of Aboriginal people representatives within water management in the region. Secondly, and I'll probably just go more into priority 4, because it captures, I guess, some of those fish passage and habitat improvements, so we developed this priority in response to what stakeholders were saying to us loud and clear, and in a very coordinated manner. It was a very clear message, so thank you. So first of all, I guess we've set out probably in some kind of a logic of order. The first of all is about ensuring that, I guess the range of coordination and governance arrangements that are already in place, just making sure, first of all, that they are fit for purpose for the range of work that needs to be done. They've served the Upper Murrumbidgee well, but with this complexity provided, particularly by the SWIOID review and a range of flow-based and catchment-based initiatives, make sure that what we're working on is done in the best way possible. Secondly, about improving the understanding of river health. That's a key investment priority of the Australian government, and we support that, and we think that should also be an ongoing feature as well. And then thirdly, about achieving a healthy river system with addressing a lack of flows, fish habitat and broader catchment health. So addressing the lack of flows, that is in specific reference to the Snowy Water Deed, the Snowy Water Deed review, and New South Wales Government's support for that and our expected participation. And now with that, as Ryan mentioned, there's a range of interests to consider there. We need to have a focus certainly on the Upper Murrumbidgee and the river its health, but there's also energy considerations and downstream water users that are likely to be affected by it. So we really need to work to involve all stakeholders right across the region into that process. And finally the addressing the population growth pressures in a sustainable way. There's already a range of growth of New South Wales towns that is significantly constrained by access to water, and we signal our support to continue working collaboratively with local governments and the ACT government to address those issues, but to also look a little bit further forward with the development of a regional growth framework where working cross borders, ACT and New South Wales, we can look at a more strategic view about how to deal with population growth in the future. So thank you. Thank you for your time, and I'll pass on to Sally again.
So finally, just in terms of next steps, and we have mentioned already a couple of times through there that we are in this finalisation stage. So, thank you. So as I mentioned, and also Aaron, the Murrumbidgee Regional Water Strategies is currently in this final review and final drafting stage. It's about to hit the approvals process. With the view that the Water Minister will approve the package of works early next year, and that we'll be able to publish these documents on our website next year. So essentially the package that we will be publishing, once all finalised, will be the full regional water strategy, which is quite a comprehensive document, including all the details that outline the specifics of the challenges that Aaron mentioned, the information in relation to why we've landed on these priorities and what those priorities are, and the actions that we've identified as being the best way to address these challenges. So that'll be that full document. There'll be an executive summary version of that. There'll also be an implementation plan which will outline those priorities in the short term that we see for implementation and who the delivery partner leads are. At the same time, we will publish a combined What We Heard report from the last round of public consultation, which happened through the middle of the year. That What We Heard report is a joined up What We Heard report for both the New South Wales, Murray and the Murrumbidgee regions, because we undertook that program of consultation in concert with that region, noting that there were a lot of similarities, although the consultation program itself definitely spoke to the specifics of each region. But that will come out at the same time, along with a range of supporting documents, such as technical papers, etc. So look out for that in next year.